Good afternoon. I'm Alexis Whitted with your NBC News Minute. Tensions continue to rise as Ukraine's parliament voted to declare martial law on Monday, a day after Russian forces opened fire on 3 Ukrainian Navy ships in the Kerch Strait. Thousands of students and members from the Fairfax community have come out for this carnival-like event in late April. In 2016, over 1,000 Virginians died of opioid overdose, and later that year, Governor Terry McAuliffe declared a public health emergency. On April 19th, George Mason University hosted a symposium with the goal of eradicating the crisis. Governor Ralph Northam gave the keynote address. President Trump gave the State of the Union address yesterday evening in front of both chambers of Congress. The speech was 1 hour and 20 minutes long, being the third longest State of the Union in the past 50 years. The president spoke on important points currently polarizing the United States, including infrastructure, gang violence, terrorism, the opioid epidemic, and immigration, to name a few. Massachusetts Representative Joe Kennedy III delivered the Democratic response shortly after President Trump's address. 2 nooses were found on a tree outside of the Mississippi state capitol. This comes just a day before the Mississippi Senate runoff between Black Democrat Mike Espy and Republican Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith, already a racially charged election. Hyde-Smith came under fire at the beginning of the month for her comment that if a certain supporter invited her to a public hanging, she would be in the front row. Espy said it would be unfair to connect the discovered nooses to Hyde-Smith. Gender Studies will be hosting a book talk on race and policing in the U.S. Taking place next Tuesday, February 13th from 3 to 4 p.m. at the Mix Fenwick Library. Listen to Angela Hattery and Earl Smith as they talk about their new book, Policing Black Bodies, How Black Lives Are Surveyed and How to Work for Change. Joining them will be Devin Johnson speaking about her edited volume, Deadly Injustice, Trayvon Martin, Race, and the Criminal Justice System. Come and take a seat.
Touchdown confirmed.
Finally, we turn to Jubilee in Pasadena, California. On Monday afternoon, NASA's InSight spacecraft landed safely on the surface of Mars. This touchdown marks the 8th time a NASA spacecraft has successfully landed on the red planet. InSight sent back its first photo as the spacecraft prepares to study the planet's deep interior. For more of the latest news, log on to NBCnews.com. Hello and happy Monday. We are finally back after a long-awaited break. It's been a while since we've seen your beautiful faces. Yes, and so we are so happy to announce that President Cabrera is here in the studio with us.
This was a long time in the making, but we're so excited to have you here and really talk to you about the issues. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and I'm delighted to come back anytime you want me.
Oh, yes! So it took you a while to get here, but what ultimately made you take on this role of president at Mason?
This is an incredibly interesting, fascinating job.
I'm Alexis Whitted with your NBC News Minute.